marathon runners. My father recalls that this was the last time his wife of almost 2 years would use her lovely, slender legs. Continuing on their journey after a few wrong turns, they found themselves on a steep, winding road, trying to find their way back on course. The road flattened to cross the railroad tracks, and my grandfather downshifted. The van stalled. The men piled out of the front door, facing away from the oncoming train. The women failed to open the side door in the back seat, but my mother scrambled into the front and fell out onto the tracks. My father automatically turned mid-stride to go back to help her, certain they were going to die. Straddling the tracks, he managed to grab her under her arms. As he turned away with her in his arms, the train made impact with the van. He felt his arms pulled downward as my mother was crushed underneath the van. He was tossed aside, unconscious. My mother lost both legs, amputated a few inches above the knees, and her right arm, amputated at the shoulder. This is how I have always known her. I spent the first few years of my life thinking that was how mothers were supposed to be. I felt sorry for the children who didn't have a nightly wheelchair ride or butt walk races on the weekend. They missed playing with canes and prostheses and may never have known how far a wheelchair can slide on an icy sidewalk. As I got older, her disability became a source of a sort of pride for me. I hated other people staring at her as she rolled by in her wheelchair or marched along with her awkward tin soldier gait, their heads on a swivel as she passed. I wanted everyone to know that her disability was only physical, not mental, and that she could do everything that everyone else could do. I would stare just as hard right back at them until they turned away uncomfortably. I was, and still am, possessive of her. As a child, I could not wait until I was strong enough to carry her and put her legs on. My father would patiently stand by as I tugged and pulled fruitlessly on my mother's stockings, trying to yank them off her legs and out through the hole of her prostheses. The day I was able to get her legs on was exciting as my first trip to Disneyland. My father made lifting her 80-pound legless body look like picking up a sack of feathers. It wasn't. I tried and tried until I could finally, at about age 14, carry her down to the beach. Next came carrying her with her legs on, usually up and down stairs. Her legs added about 20 pounds, but gave me something to hold on to. "No thanks, I don't need any help," became my mantra when going places with her. I became a pack mule of sorts and relished the role. I felt needed and important, able to help my mother go places and do things that would have been much more difficult, if not impossible, for her to do on her own. Looking at the photograph from an adult's perspective, I was humbled by this young woman whose life was destroyed and recreated in a matter of seconds. I wondered if I would be able to pull off such a resurrection with as much elan as she did, and still does. That was the first photograph I'd seen of my mother as an adult before the accident. I do not know the person with legs in it. That image and my current image of my mother are incongruous. I was frustrated that the photograph was so subdued and still. I wished that it showed her mid-run, mid-jump, or mid-kick, any demonstration of her boundless energy innervating her real legs. I wanted to poke at the photograph and force her to stand to show me that those legs really did work. The second photograph in the bunch shows my mother and father both sitting in wheelchairs in the courtyard of the hospital in Salzburg. It shows the mother I recognize. She is wearing a lacy white camisole nightgown and is cocooned in billowing white sheets. Her sternum is supported by a cruciform brace, and the bruised and stitched stump of her right arm is exposed. The part of the photograph I recognize most is her grin. Holding the armrest of her wheelchair with her left arm, she sits straight up, laughing at someone or something in front of her. My mother's being serious is a rare sight for me and usually means trouble. Her high spirits clearly were not lost with her limbs. My father sits to her left, looking as though someone has just gotten hit by a train.